Hello everybody. Today for our last unit I'm going to be doing a video on how to change your car oil. A couple things you're going to need to consider is the anatomy of everyone's car is a little different, so where I find things like my oil plug and my oil filter might be differently on your car. You're going to want to have some work clothing on because you don't want to get nice clothes dirty, and you're also going to need a variety of different tools that you're going to see me using throughout the video.
That one made a funny noise. Okay.
So here's some of the equipment we need to do the oil change. Right here we have some gloves so your hands don't get messy. We have an oil pan. We also have a light for under the car if it's dark. We have a wrench. You're going to need a certain size wrench depending on the size of the bolt for the oil to drain out of your car. We also have a drill. On my car there's actually a case covering the oil drainage, which I'll show you later. We're going to have to take that off so we can get to the bolt. Here we have the oil we're going to put in the car after we drain it. And there's also shop rags in case oil goes where you don't want it to go. And we have these stands as well to keep your car off the ground. Another thing you want to do after you get your car up on those front stands of the wheels, you want to chuck the back of your tires so the car doesn't move while you're under there. This is for safety reasons. Okay, so the next thing we're going to want to do is take these bolts out that are holding this cover by my oil bolt. You don't want to take them all the way out, you want to get them a little bit loose first. Last one. Alrighty, so we got the last screw out, so this plate's going to come right off. Thank you. And other cars might have something similar, so keep that in mind. To get to your oil plug, you might have to take a plate off. Okay, so now after we get that plate off, if your car has one, you want to, the next step is to locate the oil plug. So on this car, you can tell that this is the oil pan right here, and this bolt right here is what you're going to have to take off, and the oil will start draining out immediately. So before you do that, you want to make sure that you have the right size wrench. For my car, it's going to be a 15. You're going to want to make sure first that you know what size the bolt is on your car. And then the next step is to take this off, have the oil pan ready, and the oil will drain right into it. So right before we take this off, just be careful to not touch this. It is going to be pretty hot, okay? So put your wrench on, and then you want to slowly start loosening it. It's going to push you around at first more than you can push it. Okay, so there it goes. So at this point you want to be unscrewing it pretty slowly because this oil is going to have a lot of pressure built up and it's going to want to try to push this bolt out. So if you're unscrewing it really quickly, the oil will just start shooting out and you won't have any control over it. But once you get it loose enough, you can kind of do it lightly with your fingers. And at some point you're going to start to see a little bit of oil dripping out. There it is, a little bit. So at this point, maybe go a little further after you start seeing it drip, and then just kind of be patient with it and let it do its thing. Because again, that pressure is pushing a little bit of the oil out itself. You can kind of get a good feel for it and let it do some of the work for you. If you lift up on this bolt, it goes a little quicker, just so it doesn't come out shooting at you at once. All the way.
Can't take it out.
So now we're going to take this bolt all the way out. And that's the part where you get a little messy.
No, down slow.
Yep, I got it. Thank you.
You have to start bringing it back as the oil.
Yeah, as it goes. Okay, so now that that bolt's out, the oil is going to start losing a little bit of pressure. So make sure you have the pan back a little bit further from where the bolt is when you take it out originally, because it's going to have some pressure. It's going to shoot out like it's a garden hose. So I need to prop my head up with my arm. So as it starts to lose pressure, we're just going to move this oil pan back with it. And hopefully I have enough space here, because there is quite a bit of oil in your engine. And you can tell my oil needs to be changed because it's dark black. That's always the first sign of that you need an oil change. Okay. So towards the end of the oil drainage, it's going to start to kind of trickle. Just wait till it's all out and it stops draining. So now pretty much all the oil's drained. It's just dripping a little bit. That's fine. So you can go ahead, bolt right back in the way it came on. And then you want to take that same size wrench you used to get it off, and you want to tighten it. So you want to go the opposite way that you went before to get it off, obviously.
That's good.
And don't put it on too tight, because you won't be able to get it off next time, but it wants to be tight enough to where it won't fall off while you're driving, okay? Boom. So now we have everything else assembled back under the car, so we can go ahead and fill the engine up with oil. Every car is different with the amount of oil you need to put in, and you can also find the oil type you need on the cap right there when you take the oil cap off your engine. So now we put the oil in the engine, the new oil. So now we just want to sit here for a minute, look for any leaks. Looks like we're okay, so we want to reverse the process, put this pan back up on our car, and then we're good to go. That's all you have to do. Okay, thank you everyone for watching. Hopefully this helps.